Me and my friends joined the Pokemon Draft League. Every week we face a new coach to determine who becomes the champion of the season. Will we make it to the top of the standings? What is going on today, guys, and welcome to the Pokemon Draft Dynasty Draft League. This week we are playing against Dashing Sceptile, coach of the Seattle Sigilif. They have some real threats like Urshifu Rapid, Meowscarada, and Iron Moth, with their Terra captains being Hisui and Braviary and Electrode. We will have to reach deep into our toolkit already in week 1 to bring out this win. First, we're starting out with our ace, Big Z the Iron Bundle. Big Z is holding the booster energy to try to get a late game clean for us with a speed boost from its ability Quark Drive. We're running just enough speed to outspeed Meowscarada, with the rest maxing out our special attack and the extra being put into HP. We're running Ice Beam, Hydro Pump, Freeze Dry, and Substitute. We don't really need anything other than our dual stab here, with Ice Beam being a more consistent option over Hydro Pump and Freeze Dry for when we need it. If our opponent lets us get a sub off versus things like Donphan or Braviary, then Bundle will be able to gain a lot of momentum in the middle game. Next, we have Booby the Gengar, rocking the Focus Sash since it's designed to be one of our dedicated leads. We have Curse Body with a simple 252 stat spread since we need to at least speed tie the Iron Moth. We have a dual stab and Shadow Ball and Sludge Bomb since it covers most of the team, and Energy Ball to hit Donphan. Our last move is Sucker Punch because this lets us beat an opposing Meowscarada Sash lead and a lead Donphan that might want to EQ an Ice Shard us for the kill. Otherwise, Gengar's here to disrupt the team and get us the upper hand early. Next is 2 Chainsaws to Low Kicks. Low Kicks is one of our best breakers in this game since it can OHKO or 2-hit KO every single Pokemon, except for Donphan. It is one of our Terra captains, so we're running the Bug Terra on it this week. We gave it a Life Orb just for that extra damage output, and of course, we are running Tinted Lens. We are able to run Adamant this week because all we really need to do is outspeed Braviary, so we maxed out our attack and dumped the rest into HP. We have First Impression just to pressure almost every single thing on the team and possibly stop any reverse sweep from happening. This is the same for Sucker, and we have Axe Kick just for the coverage versus things like Copraja and Ursaring. Lastly, we have the main move we want to click, which is U-Turn. This move does massive damage and keeps the momentum on our side of the field throughout the entire game. Next is the star of the week, Gucci-Tana the Samurott. We are running Terra Fairy, and this is actually what we plan on terraing this week. We are rocking the Rocky Helmet to punish Urshifu and Meowscarada since our ability Shell Armor means that we can't be crit. We are nearly maxed out in HP and defense to take all those physical hits. We have Liquidation and Terra Blast since those are the only 2 things we really need to hit the entire team for super effective damage. And in our last 2 slots, we're running Rest and Sleep Talk to hopefully keep this thing healthy throughout the entire game. Next, we have Fun Size the Tinkaton. She is carrying a little bit of a different set this week with Lumberry and Pickpocket. This is to guarantee we won't be paralyzed by the Grimmsnarl on the first switch in, and then we can steal another Pokemon's item on the next turn. We're especially bulky since our typing checks a lot of the physical Pokemon already. This means we can now switch into some hits from Special Meowscarada and from the Braviary and Mismagius. We have Light Screen to further help our cause versus those Pokemon, and Encore to try to catch an Iron Moth that wants to try to use this for setup. We also have Play Rough as one of our stabs since it does well into most of the team, and lastly we have Brick Break to get rid of the screens that Grimmsnarl might want to try and get up this game. Last but not least, we have Kachow the Talonflame. As most Talonflames do, we're rocking the heavy duty boots alongside the Flame Body ability to maybe get some burns on things like Copraja and Meowscarada. We are making sure to outspeed the Meowscarada while dumping the rest into HP and attack. This week we are carrying Brave Bird as our damaging move, with Roost and Defog for longevity and utility, and U-Turn last to try to keep up our momentum. That wraps up our team builder for this week. Leave a comment about what you might do differently, and while you're there, don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's jump into the battle. Our opponent has brought a very different team than what we thought was going to come to this game. They brought the Electrode, which I did not really expect to see, kind of just because I didn't really respect it in prep that much. They brought the Meowscarada, the Urshifu, the Iron Moth, the Copraja, and the Braviary Hisui. So we don't see any Donphan, which is kind of weird to me. I really thought Donphan was coming. But with the 6, we're going to stick to our plan, and we're going to lead the Gengar and just go ahead and try to do as much damage with that as we can. So we get the Gengar sent out, and we're just going to click Sludge Bomb because they send out their Meowscarada as their lead, which was one of the leads that we were worried about, a Sash Meowscarada lead. So hopefully we can 1v1 this Meowscarada, but as you can see, the Sludge Bomb does not do that much damage because they click Knockoff, and something that I forgot during prep was that they will turn into a Dark type and they won't be weak to Sludge Bomb anymore, and we don't take them down to the Sash. So that means that our Sucker Punch is not going to kill anymore. So we are stuck here trying to think about 2 different things. Do we let the Gengar go down? Do we save it as a sack? And I ultimately decide that we're going to save this as a sack and we're going to go straight into our Talonflame. Now, I am scared of Power Gem. I'm guessing that they're carrying it this game, but I figure it will be a pretty bold play to go for the Power Gem here because it could still go like Tinkaton and stuff. So I'm just going to go right into Talonflame and get the U-turn to kill the lead Meowscarada. So we are up pretty early in the game, but now we're actually at a tough spot because we have to pick a Pokemon that does not lose us any momentum because the rest of our team is still pretty scary. I don't want them to go into Iron Moth. I don't really want them to go into the Braviary or the Electrode. So we're at a pretty scary spot. So I decided to go low kicks just to threaten that first impression and the Sucker Punch. And they decide that they are going to go into Urshifu after I go into that, which is kind of bad for us. But we do have our ace in the hole for this Urshifu. So we are going to go straight into our Samurott as they click Bulk Up. Our Samurott is built to handle this Urshifu. The Samurott Urshifu turns are all kind of long. Basically, it is just me trying to get rid of it. I click Terra Blast and I Terra, and I figure out that they are punching gloves because you can see that the Surging Strikes and the Drain Punch are not getting affected by my Rocky Helmet, which is not great for me, but I also thought that, you know, pads or punching glove would come to the game. So we see that they're punching gloves and we just keep clicking Terra Blast, and then we click Rest, and we get a little unlucky on the first Rest or Sleep Talk roll because we don't pull Terra Blast and they are able to bulk up again. And this is where I realized another one of my mistakes is I should have been Special Samurott in this game. That way I could get around the bulk up Urshifu, but eventually we've got to let this Urshifu kill our Samurott. That way we can go into our low kicks and just pick up the kill with first impression. Then the Iron Moth is going to come in and it is going to kill us with Fiery Dance. At this point we got the Sucker off. They're pretty low. The Sucker puts them in range of Brave Bird from Talonflame. So we bring out the Talonflame, they click Discharge, they do get the para, which isn't that big of a deal really, as long as we don't get fully parried, which we don't, and then we just get the Brave Bird off to pick up the kill on that Iron Moth. After that, they go right into their Electrode, which at this point is pretty scary for us because, like I said, we didn't bring our Garchomp, which they are Terra Ice, so it might not have mattered too much. So we do have to try to maneuver around this Electrode a little bit, don't let it Volt Switch around and get the kill. So I decided to just let Talonflame go down because at this point it's paralyzed. It's not going to do that great against the Copperajah and the Braviary and stuff, so I just decided to let it go down at this point. And then we go straight into our Tinkaton. We get a light screen up as they go into Braviary, and we go straight into our Gengar, trying to sack off the Gengar really, but they actually call mine. So we get a Shadow Ball off with the Gengar as they de-gleam us for the kill, but we get a bunch of chip off, and then we go right back into Tinkaton and we actually encore them into de-gleam. So they're not doing a lot of damage to us at all. I was really scared that they were going to Terra Fire here, because that is one of their Terra types, but they actually just did not end up tearing the Braviary. So we get the de-gleam off and they switch out right into Copperajah, and I really should have clicked Brick Break on this turn. I don't really know why I didn't. I guess I was just trying to get damage on the Braviary, but obviously they're not going to stand because they're locked into de-gleam on a steel type behind light screen. So I clicked Flare Off, should have clicked Brick Break, and then I just try to chip this thing down as much as I can because at this point I'm just hoping that I can win this game with Iron Bundle, but it is not looking good for us at this point. So they EQ us twice and get rid of the Tinkaton, and we've got them down pretty low on the Copperajah. And I come in with Bundle, get the speed boost, and this is the most disappointing damage I've ever seen from an Iron Bundle. But that Hydro Pump it did not pick up the KO, which was crazy. I don't know if it was a Mineral, I don't know what it was, but that was just an insane sight to see that not kill. They must have been max def AV. So they get the Heavy Slam off, and we end up killing with Ice Beam on the Copperajah, just trying to cover any kind of Braviary switch in and really just not miss the Hydro Pump. And at that point, they bring in the Electrode, and at this point, I know I've got to get lucky and get either like a freeze or a crit on the Hydro Pump, and I'm trying to weigh my options to see, you know, what is more likely. And I don't really think there's a right answer. I think if I click Hydro Pump and I hit, then the crit chance is higher, but if I click Ice Beam, I always hit, and then there's the freeze chance that's 10%. But at this point, it's just I know I've got to get lucky, and I end up clicking Hydro Pump, and I miss, so we will never know what will happen. But honestly, I didn't deserve to win. There was a lot of things that I should have done differently. My prep for this game was not very good, if I'm being honest. Like, we can just go through the notes of things that I've written down for myself on what I should have done differently, which was I should have been Special Samurott. Like I said that in the game, I should have been Special Samurott to beat a bulk up Urshifu. I was so tunnel visioned on SD that I didn't even think about bulk up at all. I should have just been Terra Low Kicks too. I should have just left Samurott at home, really. I was trying to bring some pretty cool sets for week 1, and it kind of bit me. But I should have just been Terra Low Kicks, because Terra First Impression just did a number to this team, and he really couldn't deal with it. And I should have just brought that and brought like Garchomp in place of Samurott, because it's not like my Meowscarada and my Urshifu matchups were even that bad without the Samurott. I was just, like I said, I was trying to bring something cool, and it kind of worked out. It kind of didn't. It's just, it's week 1. We'll bounce back from stuff like that. And in the game, I really I was talking to some people afterwards, and I just don't remember the game. I don't think I was paying that much attention. I think I was nervous, because this is the first video that's going back up after a long time off my channel. Like I said, I've been playing Pokemon since I stopped uploading, but it was just something about knowing that this was going up on YouTube really got to me, and I just got nervous. And that is something that I'll have to get used to again. Playing in game again is something I'll have to get used to again, because I've been playing on Showdown more than anything. So that is just, again, something I need to take into consideration. I've got time in these games. It's not like Gen 8 where you have a 10-minute ear time. We're setting these games up with 60-minute ear time, so I have got time that I can take in these games to really sit there and think and just absorb the game, because I don't remember anything from the game. I blacked out. Like, really, I don't remember anything. And obviously in prep, I should have remembered about Protean and the Meowscarada and how that would affect the Gengar lead, but I didn't do that. So there's just some things I needed to prep better. I needed to be more present in the game than being distracted by looking at my recording and trying to damage calc and thinking about the timer and stuff. Like, that is just all stuff I'll have to get used to again, but by no means are those excuses. Like, Dashing Sceptile obviously can do those things very well, because he was playing very well throughout the game, and that is just something that you have to get used to whenever you're recording on YouTube again. So that is our week 1. Hopefully we bounce back in week 2. We're facing It's Danny, so check out that game. And if you like what you saw, like, comment, subscribe, and I will catch you guys in the next game. See ya.